What's up, people? Discussion time, episode 25. This one is for Power Baber. And questions: is there a limit to being a good Samaritan? For example, would you help someone out who was getting beaten up, but you know he was guilty of whatever he's being accused of? Would you let him get beat up a lot? Would you let him get beaten up for a bit and then stop it? Would you have prevented it entirely and tried to have a fair trial, hoping he would be found guilty, but he might not be? Assuming that he has the power to, that you have the power to stop or prevent, obviously. Would you help someone get off drugs, then who goes back on it again? Would you help someone pay their bills or give money for food when they gambled away money you gave them the last time? Well, there's a few more there as well, so I'll start with the other ones. So would I help someone get beat up who is guilty, who you know is guilty anyway? It depends on what he was guilty for, and also one thing that I don't agree with, what I've seen in a lot of street fight videos and things like that, is head stomping. Like, I'm for a fair fight. It's the same with people claiming to be gangsters that use weapons. Now, weapons are deadly, fighting can be deadly, but I think that you can't claim to be a gangster just because you've got a weapon. I see that as a coward's way out. You should be able to defend yourself with your hands, but so many people take the easy route nowadays, and I don't agree with that. So, depending on what they've been accused of and they're guilty of, would play into it for me. But if I see head stomping going on, if I don't think it's that serious of a crime that he's committed, then I would step in, because I think that's also a coward's way in fighting as well. If they're knocked out already and you're head stomping them, that could either kill them or cause serious damage and like affect their life greatly, and there's no need for it. So that's my answer for that. So I guess it'd be, would let him get beaten up for a bit and then stop it, like, because if you're head stomping, I don't agree with it. Would I have prevented it entirely and tried to have a fair trial, hoping he would be found guilty, but he might not be, assuming you have the power to stop or prevent? It's not my business to get involved in other people's battles and fights. Obviously, the courts decide the shit that is out of our hands. But I don't think I would step in unless, as I said there, I thought it was overstepping the mark, because it's not my place. Like, I don't know what the reason behind it is, and you can't just assume that they're getting beaten up either for the crime that they've been accused of. It could be a whole different matter. So it's very difficult to determine unless you know the facts. Would I help someone get off drugs who then goes back on it again? This is difficult because unless you've done that and they've gone back on it and you've got experience of that, then you can't say for certain that they're going to do that. If you've done it before for them and they've gone back on it, I wouldn't do it the second time, because there's no helping them people. They're selfish. They obviously don't have the willpower to get through it, and if they want to live their life like that, then that's up to them. As I said, it's the same with like money and stuff. People ask you for money and you lend them it, and then you never see that money again, and they can be your closest friend ever, but after that shit, for me, I would lock them off, and I wouldn't want anything to do with them. There's a line that you should not cross, but a lot of people today don't seem to get that. Would you help someone pay their bills or give money for food when they gambled away money and you give them the last time? It's the same answer as the last question. If they're stupid enough to get back in that situation, then they shouldn't ask you, or they should ask someone else. But they shouldn't be asking anyone anyway. because they're being selfish. They're not trying to get help for themselves. They're just trying to live in the here right now and not the future, because they don't even know if they've got a future. So that's the same answer as the one before. Like, I would just wash my hands with them. How many times can you personally help someone who continues to make the same mistakes or consciously chooses to go down a particular road that usually ends with them needing help? As I said, the one time for me, that's enough. If you do it the second time, you feel like even more of a mug for letting them back in the second time, because they've proved that they're weak and they're not willing to even put the effort into change in the first place. So, one time for me. How many times should people generally help out someone who repeatedly makes mistakes or chooses to go down? Oh no, sorry, that's the same question. Just copied and pasted it twice. So that's it. Let me know what you think. I think you lot probably think I'm a bit harsh with it, but I'm just being honest. Like that, I've got a very short. I'm quite cold when I want to be, and people wonder why, in their eyes, I'm a dickhead to them. But it's because I get so much abuse and hate off other people. Like, what do you expect me to do? You can't call me something or do something to me and not expect me to do something back. That's just facts. Like, people have got a horrible thing nowadays of, like, for instance, with the rapping. If I put out a video or freestyle, or just a video of me talking about music or something, people want to mug me off because of my image, because I'm not waving a gun, or I'm not got 10 like friends behind me or a gang behind me like they do in their videos. That doesn't make you hard. Using a weapon does not make you hard. As I said, you should be able to fight with your fists, and it's a shame that the world's got like it has, because everyone's just misinformed, like, and think that you can only get respect if you're waving a gun on camera or if you're threatening people. And there's a grime tune that I like, and this mate says nowadays you can't make a good tune unless you kill someone. And it's true. Like, why is it like that though? It shouldn't be like that. As an artist, it should be about your lyrics, not about your image or what lifestyle you live. Like, if you're good at what you do, then I just don't understand all the hate. Like, I get a lot of hate as it is. I'm used to it anyway, but I just think it's a shame that the society is how it is nowadays. And so let me know what you think, guys. I'm probably going to be doing my Donkey of the Week on Fridays, so you know when they're coming. But that's it for now.